Warning, the following 30-minute pre-recorded podcast contains a guy giving his own personal opinions going on in sports, entertainment, and other things happening in the world, but no politics. Also, he will try his best not to swear, but then again, he might let out a swear or two loose because that's how people talk sometimes. So, if you do not want to hear him babble and possibly swear for about 30 minutes, you may click out at this time. And if you have not clicked off, enjoy the podcast.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's showtime.
Hello everybody and welcome to Colton's Not So Light Podcast. The podcast where my favorite college football team keeps winning and my alma mater is the city champs once again. So yeah, something pretty interesting there. So yeah, before we get all to the Ohio State stuff and all that good stuff, first off, I want to shout out to my alma mater, Westville South High School, for defeating Westville North in the 50th anniversary of the great football rivalry. They defeated Westville North 30-7, and Westville South is once again the city champs. Congratulations to Westville South defeating Westville North. It was an epic victory, which it was. It was truly an epic victory, and Westville South is in good hands with Coach Callan. So congratulations to those guys. That was amazing. But not as amazing as Ohio State's defense when they played Washington. Yeah, so Ohio State, number one team in the country, going all the way over to Seattle, Washington to play some football against the Washington Huskies. And what happens, folks? Guess what happens? Excuse me. Oh, man, I bumped into my mic. But yeah, guess what happens, folks? Ohio State takes care of business. Started off a little bit slow, but they took care of business and defeated Washington, an undefeated Washington team, 24-6, holding them to only 2 field goals. Now, Washington held us to only 24 points, but still, an 18-point victory is pretty good. It is pretty good. And holy crap, to go into that environment, into a hostile environment, Husky Stadium, which is a pretty hostile environment because it can be loud sometimes, especially when Oregon played back in like 2023 in the last year of the Pac-12. Well, those teams last year's in the Pac-12. Because seriously, Oregon, they felt that, they felt that pressure, and then they ended up losing to Washington, and also ended up losing to Washington again in the Pac-12 championship, which is insane. But Ohio State, they just walked in there and took care of business as usual. Now, the defense. Oh my God, the defense. We made Washington punt more often. Washington only punted a couple of times this season. And for Washington to punt as many times as they did in that game, that means something. That means that Washington, they are a good football team if they haven't punted that much that season. Well, this season. Washington is a good football team. I mean, Washington's coach, he's trying to turn that football program around, just like he did at, I think he was Arizona's coach at one point, wasn't he? I'm pretty sure he was the Arizona coach. I'm looking it up right now, because I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Jed Fish, he was Arizona's coach, and he helped turn that program around a little bit. And look what he's doing in Washington. So yeah, Jed Fish, he is definitely going to turn that program around. And crazy enough, he went to Florida. So he went and played football at the University of Florida. That is... Oh, wait, he didn't play football. Oh. I just read he didn't play football. He just went to the University of Florida just because. Which is crazy. Okay, so he went to the University of Florida, and then he didn't really play football or really even at... He didn't play football at all. That is crazy. Never played football in high school or college, but somehow he was able to learn the rules of football, learn how football works, and is now a coach. That's crazy. But then again, it is typical to see, some coaches some coaches come from like a non-football thing. Say they I don't know, they coached water polo, and then they're somehow the head coach at, I don't know, let's just say North Dakota State, and they lead North Dakota State into multiple playoff appearances and national championship appearances and a couple of national championships here and there. That's something that is rarely to happen. But hey, anything can happen. Anything can definitely happen. But yeah, Jed Fish, he's definitely going to change that program around at the University of Washington. No doubt about it. But yeah, and he's got a good offense. His defense might need a little work. But he's got a good offense, he's got a good quarterback, and a good wide receiver. So, yeah. Excuse me. Excuse me, sheesh. But our offense, though, it needs a little work. So, yeah, I know we got touchdowns to, Carnell Tate, C.J. Donaldson, and Jeremiah Smith, but, bro, we gotta protect our quarterback, man. Seriously. Sorry, I had to get a drink there. But, seriously, we gotta freaking protect Sand. If he doesn't get protected, he's not gonna be performing well. But he did do well. I think he went 22 for 28, which is not bad. But our offensive line, man, they've got to figure out how to, not let, the defenders through and get pressure on Sand. Because if that happens, Sand's going to end up doing a bunch of mistakes, like throwing an interception or throwing it at, out of bounds, or he just might intentionally ground it, which is a penalty and a loss of downs. So, yeah. And also, we need more, explosive plays. We're playing very conservatively, which is very interesting. We're trying to wait until, the end of the season where we just go all out. Honestly, I don't think that's a good idea. I think we should just, play a little conservative but go big when there's an opportunity. Because if we just keep going and doing conservative plays, it's not going to end well. And it's probably going to cost us football games if we don't take the opportunities to go big and go long. So yeah, that's the only concern I have for the offense. So, yeah. But, still. They look good, just need some work. Well, technically a lot of work. Because if we want to be, playoff material, we gotta stop doing these mistakes and stop doing, letting our quarterback get pressured and all that stuff. So, yeah, that's the only thing I have for the offense. Alright, so now that we're done talking about Ohio State, Washington, now time to focus on this week's game. So, Ohio State back in the horseshoe to play the Minnesota Golden Gophers. So, here are my keys to the game for offense and defense. For the defense, just keep doing what you're doing. Go after the quarterback when you have the chance. Don't make the offense get any big plays. And also, if the ball's up in the air, pick it off, take it back for a touchdown. Basically, just play really aggressive against Minnesota. And if you do that, we'll win the football game. So, yeah. And then my keys for the offense, it's obvious. Please protect your quarterback. Because if you don't, we're going to have a long football game where Julian Sand gets sacked and pressured over and over and over and over again. So, please protect the quarterback. Okay, Ohio State offensive line, protect the quarterback. And if you protect him good, we'll get some big plays and, we can air that ball out to Jeremiah Smith and he'll take it all the way for a touchdown. So, yeah. All right, and then Minnesota this season. It's been a roller coaster for them. Seriously. So, first game of the season against Buffalo, they struggled against them. Ended up winning like 23-10. And then they destroyed Northwestern State like 66-0 because Northwestern State's an FCS team, so obviously Minnesota's going to destroy them. And then they go over to Cal, play Cal, and they lose to Cal, which is crazy that they lost to California, who is part of the new ACC. But hey, it's whatever. And then they end up almost losing to Rutgers in their first Big Ten game of the season. Seriously, you almost lost to Rutgers. You almost lost to Greg Schiano, former Ohio State defensive coordinator, and is now the head coach again at Rutgers. Because, this is like his second stint at Rutgers. And you almost lost to Greg Schiano. That's insane. That is truly insane that Minnesota almost lost to Rutgers. It's insane. But, yeah. So, my prediction, Ohio State should be able to, beat Minnesota. If not, it's going to be a long night because it's a night game. And it's on NBC. So, if you're interested in watching that, you can catch it on NBC. Minnesota, Ohio State on NBC, 7:30. Or you can watch it on Peacock, but watch it on NBC because NBC is free. Peacock is not. You have to pay for Peacock, which is lame. So, yeah. So, I predict Ohio State will win, hopefully handily, and we would win 56-10. So, yeah, my prediction is Ohio State wins 56-10. We'll only give up 10 points, 1 touchdown, and a field goal. So, yeah, that's my prediction. All right, now it's time to talk about the rest of Week 5. Penn State against Oregon. Penn State's whiteout game. Penn State took it to overtime against Oregon. They both were tied at the end of the first overtime. Then the second overtime, Oregon scores. And then Oregon throws a pick during the 2-point conversion. Penn State almost took it back for 2 points. Then Penn State starts off with the ball on their possession in the second overtime. Drew Aller steps back to pass and throws a pick. Game over. Oregon wins. Typical Penn State, folks. Penn State gonna Penn State, not win the big ones and obviously choke. Because literally, Penn State had a chance to win. Drew Aller called for the football. They snapped it. Aller dropped back to pass and just threw it to the opposite team. He threw it to Oregon and cost Penn State the win. How are you even still the starting quarterback after making a mistake like that. Like, seriously, you cost your team to beat Oregon in your legendary whiteout game, and that happens. Like, seriously, you had a chance to beat Oregon in the whiteout game. Instead, you throw the ball to the opposite team in overtime, and you lose. You had a chance to win. All you had to do was score one touchdown and then score the 2-point conversion, and then you would have won. But no, instead you threw it to Oregon and you lost. That is embarrassing. Embarrassing. Like, seriously. You were given an opportunity, and the first play of your possession, you throw it away to Oregon, and the game's over. Like, seriously. That is embarrassing. Embarrassing. But it's not as embarrassing, well, I guess it's equally embarrassing as when Florida State went into double overtime with Virginia and lost to Virginia at Virginia. Bro, Florida State, what happened? What happened? Like, seriously, you had a chance to beat Virginia and go, like, and remain undefeated. But no. Instead, you end up losing to Virginia, and now everybody's starting up the fraud alert here. Excuse me. Because now, after you beat the allegations of when you beat Alabama, everyone's like, oh, Florida State beat the allegations of being terrible. Excuse me, I had to get a drink. But now, since you lost to Virginia, everyone's starting up, oh, they are frauds. They are frauds. They haven't beaten the allegations that they suck. So yeah, everyone thought you beat the allegations of sucking back when you beat Alabama, but now the allegations are back on, man. So yeah, and you face Miami this weekend. If you suck against Miami, you might as well just say, yeah, we are complete and total frauds, and we do suck. So yeah. Good luck. Good freaking luck. Next thing that happened this recent week, Brian Kelly, he went to Mississippi to play Ole Miss. And Ole Miss beat LSU. And here's crazy. Here's a crazy thing. Lane Kiffin's daughter goes to LSU, and yeah, great win for Lane Kiffin, as he's now got a win over his daughter's school. So yeah, and I think she's actually playing I think Lane Kiffin's daughter is actually dating one of the LSU players. So 2 L's for LSU. One, they lost to Ole Miss. And second, one of the players lost to his girlfriend's dad. Yeah. 2 L's for LSU. Well, obviously, yeah. I was going to make a joke about, connecting the 2 L's to LSU because, well, LSU, there's an L in LSU. You can't spell LSU without L. So yeah, I think I made a little bit of joke, but I was gonna make a even crazier joke, but I'm not gonna do it. LSU suffered enough. But then again, Brian Kelly's probably gonna blame the media because of this loss, because Brian Kelly likes to do what Brian Kelly likes to do. which is whatever. So yeah. Georgia. They lost to Alabama. How did that happen? I'll tell you what happened is what I saw a clip of this Georgia player after like the play had been blown dead. He jumps on, like, the whistle has been blown, and he jumps into the pile he jumps in the air and onto the pile, and the refs see this and they're like, yep, that's a penalty. That's a big penalty. Can't do that because that's a personal foul, unnecessary roughness, and that penalty ended up giving Alabama the win. So yeah, Alabama won because Georgia decided to dogpile too late. Like, seriously, dude jumped into the pile after the whistle was blown. Like, you can't do that. They're gonna penalize you, and that penalty is gonna, hurt your team, and you guys are gonna lose. So, yeah, that happened. LSU lost, and yeah. Wait, LSU. Am I getting? Oh my goodness, I'm getting my games mixed up. Oh man, I just had a massive brain fart. So yeah, Georgia screwed up. Alabama wins. Georgia loses. Oh man, yep. I have a massive brain fart. But then again, I am doing this podcast. I'm recording this podcast in 2 in the morning. No, it's at 2 in the morning. Yeah, I'm recording this at 2 in the morning, which is insane. But then again, it's not really because I got a lot of work to do because I've got this and then I've got to record more Silent Hill F for you guys. So, yeah. So I'm going to try and get ready for the rest of this podcast. So, well, jeez. Yeah, I'm tired. So I'm just going to power through this podcast and hopefully I don't have to do another 2 in the morning podcast because I'm not feeling well. Not really feeling well. Mainly because I'm tired. But yeah. Also, we got some coaching news, sadly. Well, sad coaching news. Arkansas's head coach has been fired after being slaughtered by Notre Dame. Arkansas got slaughtered by Notre Dame. And it was a pretty big L Arkansas suffered at the hands of Notre Dame. But guess who's back? Back again. Bobby's back. Tell a friend. Yeah, Bobby Petrino, he's now back as the interim head coach at Arkansas. But don't worry, he'll be hired as head coach once he does somewhat of a good job at Arkansas. Or maybe he'll suck. Who knows? Who knows? Alright. Now it is time for, finally, Week 7 high school football picks. So I'm just going to go crazy. I'm just going to go through them quick because honestly, it is getting late. It's obviously 2 in the morning, and I don't want to stay up until like 3 in the morning still recording this podcast. So I'm trying to get these things done quickly because right now I think I can get it done. I have 7 minutes. My target is always to be 30 minutes or more. So yeah. So hopefully I can get these picks for you ready, and also I'm trying to get my great, my phone glitched. I'm trying to get my other segment ready. My college games, what to watch college games ready. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so got my college games ready, and now I'm about to do the Week 7 picks. Last week I went 15-3, which is pretty good. And my game of the week I got correct because it was West Roll South, West Roll North for the game of the week. I'm now 4-2 on the game of the week. That is my record. So 4 for 6. It's pretty good. Pretty good. And before I do the picks Number 2, Bishop Watterson. They're on a bye week for some reason. I don't know why, but they are. Alright, so here we go. Week 7 picks. Dublin Kaufman versus Olentangy Orange. Number 1, Olentangy Orange. So yeah, we got a new number 1. Olentangy Orange is now number 1 instead of Bishop Watterson. I'm going with Olentangy Orange to be Dublin Kaufman. Number 3, Pickerington Central versus Newark. I'm going with Pickerington Central. Number 4, Upper Arlington against number 21, Olentangy Liberty. Olentangy Liberty, number 21. I'm going with Upper Arlington. Number 5, Pickerington North against Central Crossing. I'm going with Pickerington North. Number 7, London versus Bell Fountain. I'm going with London. Number 8, Olentangy versus Marysville. I'm going Olentangy. Clear Fork against number 9, Shelby. I'm going with Shelby. Taze Valley versus number 10, Canal Winchester. I'm going Canal Winchester. Number 11, Gahan Lincoln versus number 25, New Albany, which is a rivalry game. I'm going Gahan Lincoln over New Albany. All right. Next one. Hold on. Okay, that's weird. I thought I heard myself echoing. But I don't think I am echoing. Hopefully. I shouldn't be echoing. If I am, that's weird. Very, very weird. But I'm not. Okay. Sorry. Technical issues, possibly. Who knows? I don't know. But I don't think I'm echoing. So, moving on. Number 13, St. Francis de Sales against Cabell Midland. I'm going with St. Francis de Sales over Cabell Midland. Number 14, Bishop Hartley versus Walsh J. Suit. I'm going with Walsh J. Suit. Huron Heights versus Harvest Prep. Number 15, Harvest Prep. I'm going with Harvest Prep. Delaware Hayes versus Westerville South. Number 16, Westerville South, my alma mater. I'm going with Westerville South. Number 17, Grove City against Westerville Central. I'm going with Grove City. Zanesville versus number 18, Licking Valley. I'm going Licking Valley. Number 20, Hilliard-Davidson versus number 19, Hilliard-Bradley, a rivalry game. I'm going with Hilliard-Davidson over Hilliard-Bradley. Bishop Reedy versus number 22, Buckeye Valley. I'm going with Buckeye Valley. Circleville versus number 23, Hamilton Township. I'm going with Circleville. And number 24, Groveport Madison, going against Reynoldsburg. I'm going to go with Groveport Madison. All right, now we got the game of the week. So, game of the week is number 6, Big Walnut against number 12, Worthington Kilbourne. Now, Kilbourne's 5-1, which not a lot of football experts seem to pick Kilbourne to do well this season, but they have done extremely well. They finally are ranked, which is pretty crazy. Big Walnut, obviously they're a good team. They've always been good. Excuse me. So yeah, Big Walnut's going over to Worthington Kilbourne to play football. Kilbourne's got the home field advantage, but I'm going with Big Walnut High School to defeat Worthington Kilbourne, and that is my pick for game of the week. So yeah, Big Walnut, Big Nut is going to beat Worthington Kilbourne, and thus that is my pick for the game of the week. Big Walnut over Worthington Kilbourne. So yeah. All right. Now, before I pass out and of like me being tired, because I am about to pass out because I'm extremely tired because I'm doing this at 2 in the morning. Remember, duh. So here are the college football games to watch this week. The obvious one is Minnesota versus Ohio State at 7:30 on NBC. Vanderbilt versus Alabama at 3:30 on ABC. I'm picking Vanderbilt to pull off the upset again, because that was insane last year. That was insane. And then finally, this third game, Miami versus Florida State. I really want Florida State to win, but I think Miami's going to pull it off because it's Miami. Miami finds ways to win for some reason. So, yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. That is it for this week's podcast. And it's right around the 30-minute mark, so that's pretty cool. So I'd like to thank you all for tuning and listening in. If you enjoyed this podcast, please hit a like on it. Subscribe if you're new to this channel. Check out my other videos I've uploaded on my channel. And also, if you're just starting on this podcast, I have a playlist section of all the podcasts I've done, all the way from episode 1 to this week's episode. So please make sure to check out that. And also check out my gaming playlists. I have a ton of video game playlists that I've done because I am very good at video games and I like video games. So yeah. Alright. So yeah. Once again, guys, thank you all for tuning in and listening in. And I will see you guys next week when I hope I am not tired and not doing this at 2 a.m. And I'll hopefully be full of energy. And yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next podcast. Hopefully that I'm not, tired and about to pass out because of tiredness. So yeah. So until then, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Disappointed.